Imagine this. Someone finds your website, type in their domain, and 30 seconds later, they have a full SEO report. Backlinks, keyword gaps, competitors, AI search visibility, the kind of audit that normally takes hours. And to get it, they gave you their email. That's the play. Free tool to build an audience. Classic SEO growth loop. Except that you build the whole thing in hours. This is SEO Intel, a working lead magnet for an SEO agency. Prospect find it, gets value, and you get their contact. And I just built it using Claude Code and SEO Rankings MCP server. No developer needed. In this video, I will walk you through how to build from an empty folder to a live deployment, step by step. And by the end, you will be able to build something like this yourself. And right before we get into the actual development, there are 3 things you need. This setup takes about 10 minutes. First, an SEO ranking account. If you don't have one, create one at seoranking.com. All plans include API access. You just get more credit on higher tiers. Once you are logged in, go to the API on the left sidebar, then Dashboard. Hit Create API Key and copy it. You will need it in a minute. Second, Claude Code. Cloud can run in a few places: terminal, IDE, desktop, or browser. For this build, we are using the terminal version because that's where everything works fully, and you can see exactly what's happening. Third, the SEO Ranking MCP server. This is what lets Cloud get access to SEO Rankings data directly, with over 100 SEO tools through a single URL. Here is the setup from scratch. I have put the setup guide in the description below. First, install Claude Code. You can run the install command from the guide. Next, navigate to your project folder and add SEO Ranking MCP server. One comment. I will put it on the screen, and that's in the guide. Then launch Cloud and run /mcp command and authenticate with your SEO Ranking account. If everything worked, you will see SEO Ranking server listed as connected with over 100 SEO tools available. Total time, about 10 minutes if you have done it before. By the way, if anything breaks along the way, check the troubleshooting section in the guide or reach out to us. Contact link in the description. Once it's connected, you don't write any code. You describe what you want in plain English and Cloud handles the rest. Okay, setup done. Now, what can we actually build? That's the first question. And the answer comes from asking the MCP itself. Okay, so what can we actually build? Here is the thing about being a non-developer. Building on an API, you don't know what's possible, but you could read the documentation or you could just ask. Let's open Claude and we can ask list all available MCP tools for SEO ranking for data API. Group them by category. Okay, just to understand a little bit more what's available and which kind of tool we are able to build. Okay, it is required for us to authenticate. So we are going to be running MCP, running authentication, and authenticate. We have opened this pop-up that we are going to sign in with our SEO Ranking account. That's it. We can go back. Okay, so let's start again with listing the different available tools. Okay, we have tools about site audit in order to understand if there are errors inside the website that could be negatively affecting our ranking. Tools about backlinks, tools about domain research, domain analysis I like to call it, keyword research, SERP, AI overview. Okay, there are 59 data API tools across 6 different categories. That's a good start. Now let's explain to Claude what we are actually going to be building. We want to build a landing page in order to capture the email of a user and be able to deliver them a SEO report for a specific domain. So let's tell them that. In order to not start from a blank desktop, I would say we can probably get a screenshot from this tool and we will paste it over here. Okay, so we have set the objective and we are going to be creating the landing page. We have explained a little bit more about where we are going in order to give a little bit more context to the tool. Let's see what happens now. It has correctly identified that the folder is completely empty and it will be creating the landing page adapted for your lead magnet use case. And it has correctly identified that in the previous design, this creator, which is S-Ranking, it was a template application. It was asking the S-Ranking API key, but in this case, we want to have an email field instead of an API key. I would, using Next.js latest technologies. It has created one single design, but we actually want to create a feature that is going to have a backend using the API. So let's actually include the backlinks data so that it can start to understand more or less how we are going to be doing this. And at the same time, I'm going to explain to it the way to authenticate, right? So we know that S-Ranking requires an API key. So I just want it to be clear. This is the API key once I want it to be using. Okay. This is the API key. This way, it gives a little bit more context to the tool on where we are going, because otherwise, just an HTML, it's going to be quite hard in order to get there. Right now, it better understands the objective, and it says, okay, I'm going to start this project, building the landing page, the API route for the S-Ranking backlinks, and a report page results. Let me start. Otherwise, only with an HTML file, it's a little bit quite not flexible enough for our purpose here. So working with Claude Codes, you need to keep redirecting it to the things that you want to use, how you want it, the outputs, and so on. So in this case, it's basically a conversation, right? It produces a result, and you say, okay, but I like it this other way. So we adapt a little bit. Okay, we got the result. Let me ask you, okay, it's already running on localhost the port 3000. So let's see. Okay, looks cool. The feeling is exactly almost the same. So let's analyze it, for example, for wix.com. And in this case, the email that we are going to be using is the one from my email. Let's generate a report. Okay, we got the first tab. And we got a piece of information. Here we have the tool. It is quite similar to our initial tool, though we need a button in order to generate the report. Let me ask it. We are going to say, okay, this button, what it's going to be doing, it's going to call the S-Ranking API for the backlinks. It's going to be generating different tabs. The first tab of which is the backlinks report. Okay, let's explain a little bit more what we want backlinks for. On backlinks, we want to see domain authority. Okay, let's see what happens right now. I am doing two different things. Providing the documentation in order for it to make sure that it understands all the different endpoints and so on. But I say, okay, in order to get comfortable with the API, let's use the MCP. The good part of the MCP is it can easily query and get information back. So understand how the parameters are created and understand the object of the response. It helps speed up the development process. This step might take a little bit because it's actually doing a lot of things right now. It is doing a lot of different things. Interesting. Okay, let's see. Let's refresh the page. Okay, maybe. Okay, I don't see the button to actually trigger this one. Let me give it a screenshot of how this whole process is going. There are still no changes, so I'm just prompting it to actually maybe. That's strange. Looks like, okay, right now it's internal server error, so it finally killed the process correctly. Let's see if right now it is up and running. It is up and running, but the button is still not visible. Okay, looks like we are going to go with another route. Let's see if this delivers better results. Okay, looks like finally we got our our button. Let's see if we got some results. Our objective is basically to try to retrieve the data in order to make sure that our objective is to correctly be able to display the data using the API from sRanking. Okay, this is really cool in order to be able to see which week if we are growing or losing. For example, these weeks we are growing, but basically it looks like in this case, this domain is growing more backlinks than the ones that it's lost. We also have top anchor texts, top backlinks, top referring domains, top TLDs, and top countries. Amazing. We have a good piece of information about the different backlinks. Okay. We started with backlinks basically because I have a little bit of feeling that this is how everything started, right? So Google originally started with the PageRank algorithm. Links are still the foundation of how search engine works. Every serious SEO audit starts with backlinks. Okay, so I would say the backlink section is done, but your clients who care about link building also want to know, is our traffic growing? Which markets are winning? Which keywords we are ranking for? So we are going to build that next. We are going to ask Claude to pull domain traffic data in the new tab. What do we want to see here? I would suggest, for me, overview, which means like, also I would like to understand if we are improving, declining, new or lost, right? Then something that I like a lot, I would say that I got from a competitor, is the way to display the historical keyword growth. It's like from every month, we are able to see a number of keywords on one axis that you are ranking for, and on the other axis, the number of traffic that you have in order to see if this is growing up into the right. So here I'm attaching an image. Something else that, oh yeah, we would like to see top ranking keywords. And then maybe we can identify some keyword expansion opportunities. We are going to go here. We can go to the next section, which is domain analysis, right? We are going to be copy pasting this whole section. We have one side here. Let me get the other part that we are interested in, which is keyword research. We are just going to copy paste it as additional context for the LLM in order to understand what we are going to be achieving here. Oh, one thing that I think that we have overlooked is the traffic by country. Let me just write it here. And maybe we can also identify top pages and maybe top 8. Let's include another. Okay. This is going to be quite a complete report on domain analysis and keyword research. Okay. This is making progress. Right now, all the APIs have been validated. Now we are going to be checking the different endpoints for top pages and paid advertisement, which was the latest things that we actually asked it to perform. It's worth noting that sometimes the data that the endpoints retrieve, right, it's quite large. Like in this case, for the get domain overview worldwide, right, it had more characters than the one it makes sense for it to ingest. So one smart thing to do is actually saving that to a different file, and then okay, let me actually identify how this file is structured, right? So it don't need to load all the different characters, only a subset in order to just verify the structure of it. Okay. We can generate a new report. We have actually implemented quite a lot of things. You can see here, it's a really good one. Okay. We have implemented the second tab, as we said, keywords and domain. We can see here the total keywords, the different positions, the ones that we have improved, declined, new and lost. The SERP features that we have won, all the different SERP features that we have. Okay, this is in percentage. So I would like to actually say, okay. Then from the historical growth, oh, this is a really, really nice view. For example, we have the blue line, right, which is the traffic in millions. And then we have the stacked number of different keywords that you have for each of the different positions, right? For position range. This is interesting. In this case, Wix is growing a lot the number of keywords that it is ranking for position 1 to 5. I would say that everything started since May 2025. We are also able to identify the different markets. US is the number one, second is the UK, India, France, Brazil. Okay. We are able to see the number of keywords, traffic, and the positions. Top ranking keywords, top pages, paid search advertisement, keyword expansion opportunities. This one is quite interesting. You can see that, for example, for similar and for related, the different keywords that we could be interested in identifying, and also long tail variations. Okay, interesting. Let's see if we have actually refined this a little bit on this section. Okay. Okay, so this is where actually percentage, in this case, for example, related searches, we have 29. And we appear in 29 different ones, which represent, here we have the percentage in this case, right? Okay. I like how it is thinking about this because my suggestion was also to go to the next tab should be about competitors. Then we want to see I would say this is a really good starting point. It has correctly identified SEO ranking has two different endpoints regarding competitors. It has one to get domain competitors, which list the different set of competitors, and then we have another one of my favorite endpoints actually, which is get domain keywords comparisons. So you have two different domains, and it is able to see the things that it has in common or the things that one domain has that the other is lacking. For me, this is a really good, interesting endpoint because it is able to see what things they are ranking for your competitors that you are not. Okay, right now it is actually outlining the different actions that it needs to do, right? We are going to be adding a set of functions. We are going to be adding the reports, updating the reports, and creating the tab component. This is really interesting. Okay, looks like we have a new tab. Let's go back. Let's refresh it so that we can implement it. Let's review the new report that we are generating. Okay, we have the section of the competitors. Here we have Wix, Shopify, HubSpot, Hostinger, GoDaddy, and MailChimp. Okay, this is our domain, the domain authority, traffic, and keywords. And for each of the different competitors, we can see the traffic, keywords, and the common ones with us. You can see another representation of the keyword overlap, top organic competitors, keyword gap opportunities. For example, for this keyword, the competitor position is 18, and we are not ranking for this specific keyword. Okay. Just as a little recap, right now we are generating a SEO report about backlinks, keywords and domain analysis, and finally also competitors. With that, I would say that the classic SEO report is quite complete. Next step would be about what everybody is recently talking about, AI search, right? Let's bring a little bit of clarity into the AI search. Then I would say first we start with the leaderboard, but also I want let's see. I see that there is one of the endpoints that we have that it's about brand. I just want to say basically it's because the system is going to calculate it. Let's share over here as well the documentation. So just for the LLM to have a little bit more context, it has already used the MCP in order to understand all of it. Okay, I would say that it was already created the new search, the new AI search. Let me see what it discovers based on the different contexts that we have just added. Okay, looks like we have it. Let's verify the new tab. This is going to take a while probably because every time we are adding more and more endpoints, so maybe it takes some additional time in order to generate the response. As we can see over here, we have the new tab AI search. So all the previous tabs continue to work successfully. Right, and finally the AI search. Here we are our domain compared with the different competitors. Here we can see the performance by engine. I would like to see which is the market it has been set, because it's quite strange that this particular domain it is not receiving data. Let me go over again. It's a little bit difficult to read all the different citations by only having this big one over here. We are going to fix that as well. Different ways to show it. And over here we can see that Shopify is not being don't have any visualization for AI overview. I would say that's probably an error on the LLM. Okay, sometimes it's like a back and forth. It's about, okay, I identify something, I explain it, and I suggest always using the MCP. It's the most straightforward way to actually validate if the data that we have just acquired makes sense or not, right? Looks like we have implemented a fix. Interesting to see how it will be reflected on the data. Right now we have managed to resolve it. We have more data visualization around here. Okay, nice. I would say we have all the different sections of the report: backlinks, keyword domain, competitors, and AI search. 4 sections that a good SEO domain, a good SEO report right now should be working on, right? I would say this is a good return of investment for the person in order to be able to add their own email here, in order for them to evaluate if we are a good SEO agency or not in this case. We are missing one thing. Everything is running locally, right? But we would like this to be on the public web in order to be able to list it, in order for people to be able to use this service. So right now, the last thing pending, it's about, okay, so we are telling Vercel is a provider that can host our codes and is going to be able to host this on the web. It is a way to actually get an MVP hosted in the web quite interesting. We are cheating a little bit because we had already Vercel installed, to be honest, and I had already been authenticated. It proposed different solutions in order to host it because Vercel has some limitations, right? And I would say I have replied, okay, let's go for the simpler approach. We only want to validate that this solution works end to end, and actually we are trying to go in under 90 minutes, I would say that it is going to take us in order from an idea with an empty folder to a solution in production. So let's see if we manage to get there. Okay, it did a little bit of changes in local. Let me see if everything goes well locally, and then we can just validate on Vercel. Actually, it is quite exciting, I would say. Let's see how everything goes. Okay, things continue to work as expected in local. Okay, it's important to see. Let's see what happens in production. It has continued to add the environment bar. Okay, that's good for our API key. Okay, we got a new link. Let's see what happens. Fingers crossed. Okay, well, it's loading. Let's see what happens. We are adding our email. Let's see if the report generates. In case that it fails, no problem. We are going to be reviewing the logs. We are going to ask Claude in order to be able to fix it. Okay, so as we said, this is production. Everything continues to work, and we are delivering value to our new prospect. It's basically a way for us to build authority. It's just for anyone to not think that I was basically faking it. We can use different domains, okay, and it will continue to work. We are using active data from the SE Ranking API, which is fresh data. Let's see if everything goes well as well with our other domain. Yeah, every domain has its own different historical growth and so on. So it is just for us to see that we are actually calculating all these metrics live and so on. Okay, interesting to see that for SE ranking, we have not identified for the AI search any data. I would say this is a good candidate for keep debugging it. I would say the next two steps would be continue to define all these different edge cases, all these different things. Let's see. I would suggest, just by reading at the way that it is actually resolving the problem, could we increase the the waiting time? Well, let's see. Let's not jump too fast, right? And let's just see what is happening. Let's see if in localhost for SE ranking we are actually retrieving all the different data based on the new fixes that we are doing. Okay. Okay, yeah. Right now we are able to get the data, which is good. Then we want to verify the same in production for in Vercel. Let's verify if this is actually the case. This is the previous report. We need to come here and start again. Okay, it loaded quite fast, I would say. And right now we are able to see all the different data for all the different domains, which is a success. I would say that's it. Our audience cares about having SEO data. We are able to deliver it. There is a lot of things that we can continue to do. Based on the timer that I have set up, this is 1 hour and 19 minutes since we started working on it from an empty folder, okay? I would say we can continue doing personalization, right? We can do a little bit of branding on this solution in order to refine it and be able to explain a little bit more about our agency and the different services that we provide. And at the same time that we continue to refine the different endpoints that SE ranking offers in order to empower these solutions. Also, a good practice is always storing the code in a code base, right? For example, we could be putting this code in GitHub in order to make sure that we don't lose anything in case that something happens. And yeah, I would say we delivered quite a good result in the time that we had. Here is what just happened. We took an empty folder, connected to SEO ranking data through the MCP server, and built a production lead magnet for an SEO agency. No developer on the team, about an hour and a half. Live. If you understand SEO, you already know what your prospects need to see. You know the backlink matters, you know which keywords metrics drive action, you know that competitive gaps close deals. The only thing that changed is now you can build a tool that delivers it. Fork it, brand it, deploy it. Your next client finds you through the tool you built. Links are in the description, the GitHub repo, the setup guide, and all the full workshop recording where we build parts of this live. Go build yours!